'Cause I've been
That's better.
everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Mooloolaba, Nambour, Roochdore,
Hughenden.
Rillaba, Birdsville, Emmaville, Wallaville, Connemara, Connemara, Strathround,
Hughenden.
Alladala, Darwin, Gingin, Lillaquen, Muckdilla,
Hughenden.
Bougainville, Cumberland, Ramakiller. I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah, that's Lucky Star. He's been everywhere, man, but it doesn't sound like he's been up to F and Q, where we will find Angie Nisbet. G'day, Angie.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you going? I tell you what, that sounds good in that song, doesn't it?
Oh, it's my challenge every week to try and fit the name of the town into what is about 30 seconds of a song that goes for 3.5 minutes, but that's okay. Bit of fun.
It is. It's great, though.
And we actually found someone a little while ago who was in a place called Deniliquin down on the Murray River sort of area of New South Wales. And Deniliquin actually gets a mention, so I didn't have to put anything in at all. It was great. I put my feet up.
Easy day work that day then, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Angie, where the hell is Hughenden?
Where the hell is Hughenden? Boys, I'm surprised you don't know where it is, but if
I do.
threw a dart at the middle of Queensland, you'd find Hughenden. So we're 450 kilometres west of Townsville, between Townsville and Mount Isa.
Ah, beautiful. Now I've got you.
Out near Julia Creek.
Yeah, not far, another 3 hours, a little bit east of Julia Creek.
So closer to Cloncurry.
No, further away from Cloncurry.
I thought I was doing okay there. Now we're going to stop.
Righto, now if I'm driving around and I get to Townsville and I'm thinking, now where will we go next? Why would I go to Hughenden?
Well, I guess the question is, why wouldn't you come to Hughenden?
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah,
like
nice,
that. Good
nice.
start.
Look, Hughdenden's got some fabulous things out here. We are pretty much the start of the inland sea from the dinosaur times. We've got some fabulous dinosaur museums. We've got the amazing Porcupine Gorge. And I think it's just a fantastic eye-opener for anyone who sort of wants to understand the agricultural industry better, because we are pretty much beef central.
The good thing for Rob is if he was to visit Hughenden, not only because he loves his agriculture, but the dinosaur thing, it would take him back to his primary school days.
Absolutely. Look, Hughdenden's been a long time on the tourism list with the dinosaur side of things. So, yeah, there's plenty of things to see and do when it comes to the sort of dinosaur side of things. So you'd have a great time in Hughenden. They've got the wonderful Flinders Discovery Centre, and you just sort of keep hopping along, and Winton's got some fabulous dinosaur things to do as well.
So you just grow beef and more beef up there. I don't know whether you do rainfall, but what would be your average annual rainfall in Hughenden?
So we had 11 years of drought 3 years ago, but everyone says their normal year. Well, normal isn't a word that we use anymore, but you're looking anywhere between 18 to 24 inches in a normal year, and our wet season goes anywhere from sort of December right through until April. But this year we've had sort of about the 6 inches mark, which has been fabulous, and we just actually had 32 mil yesterday, which has been fantastic.
So hang on a minute. So your average rainfall is very similar to ours, but you just get it in the middle. You get in the middle of summer. When we don't get any, you get all yours.
Yeah, that's right. Well, in an ideal season, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, looking out the window today, it looks absolutely incredible. Green grass, and it's just misting here this morning. We've just had a little bit of a front go through. So, God's country, boys.
Yes, it is. I know the way it sort of operates, and I've been up there. I've been to the Atherton tableland and seen the extraordinary rainfall they have, and then you go out a little bit further, and of course it just gets a little bit drier and harsher. So that rainfall at that time of the year produces the feed that is required to sustain the livestock for the full 12 months, and all you've got to do is make sure they've got something to drink. How easy is it to provide that important drinking water in such a sporadic rainfall area?
So the rain that we've had this year hasn't given us a great deal of runoff rain, which would normally fill a lot of people's dams. We are very fortunate that we have some beautiful bore water, so we have a lot of our troughs and things that will be filled by a bore that we are very grateful to pump out of. But look, you got to keep the water up to them, because I mean it's very hot up here. You'll get days sort of between the 40 to 45 degrees, so you've got to keep those animals watered, that's for sure.
The bore water down here, because of a lot of agricultural irrigation use, is probably the table is dropping and it's becoming saltier and saltier. How do you go up there for salt levels in your drinking water for stock?
No, well, we're very lucky. So we're on the Artesian Basin. So where we are, our water is beautiful. Like, we are so grateful. We drink our bore water, we shower in it, and we water all the gardens. So where we are, it's fantastic. The further west you go, it does get a little bit, it has sulphur in it, so it can get a little bit yucky to drink. But yeah, where we are, we're very lucky. We've got some fantastic bore water.
I went to a place called Eromanga once, which is not a million miles away from you. It's a million miles away from here. And I was sharing a donga, if you will, with another colleague. We had a common bathroom, and he went in there and turned on the shower. And I thought to myself, that's a bit ordinary. But the amount of sulphur coming out of the shower water, it was just... Well, it stunk, let's be honest. And, I always imagined that that's what the water would be like in your part of the world, but it sounds like it's pure.
Yes, we are. We're very pure here, which is unbelievable. And as I said, it makes our jobs as livestock owners a lot easier when the water the cattle can drink is good, like easy for us to drink and easy for them to drink.
So have you always been a Hughendenian, or are you an immigrant?
No, I'm born and bred Hughenden. I'm fifth generation farmer. So we've been here our whole life. My dad came from down near the Birdsville area, but we moved up here where we are now, and love it. Just as soon as I left boarding school, that's all I wanted to do was to go back to the property and chase cows or goats or sheep or whatever we had running around the place.
I found Birdsville was too isolated, so you moved to Hughenden.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
It's too hot, but yeah.
So how big is the property, and how many head of stock do you run?
Yeah, so we have we've got 3 places, and we've just got under 100,000 acres. Where we are, it's quite small, but and we've got cattle, sheep, and goats. Last year we were running sort of just under the 10,000 head of cattle because we had quite a lot of grass that we needed to chew down. We had anywhere from 15 to 22,000 goats, and then we've got some sheep as well.
Some sheep. And do you have Dorper sheep or Merino sheep?
We've got Aussie White.
Oh, okay.
He thought he would be clever then, didn't he?
In the same family as the Dorper, yep.
Yeah, and...
Very close.
Just so you know, I live on 1/6 of an acre.
Yeah.
And
me even less.
And for me to run from the back fence to the front fence, I can cope with. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
You're probably being a little bit flippant. For down here, people would say 100,000 acres, that's little, but the reality is the further west you go, you start counting them in square miles rather than acres.
Yeah, that's it. And it's really interesting, I think, if anyone looks at a property map, you can really sort of understand, the denseness of people's places. The further east you go, they get smaller, but obviously higher carrying capacity. The further west you go, the bigger the places get, because they need more area to be able to graze on.
Yes, we spoke to Anne in Boulia, which is even further out west, and we got that sense from that a little while ago. Now, before we let you go, Angie, we should also... People are going, gee, I tell you what, she talks well on the radio. I think you might have a podcast. Is that true?
I do, yes.
Go on, give it a plug.
Oh, I will. So I host a podcast called Married to the Land from my office here quite remotely, and I'm very fortunate that I get to chat with the most extraordinary women from the land, and they get to share their story to everyone out in the world. So have a listen, boys. I'm glad. Would love to have you on to add a little bit of diversity or co-host, but that's my fantastic passion, and I love being able to bring it to the airways for everyone to tune into.
Angie, it's a very good point you make. My time in agriculture, and Neil will tell you, it's a long, long time. There was a time where women didn't really have a fit at all other than keeping the household going.
Keeping the shearers fed.
But in my lifetime, I've seen a dramatic change. Are you now quite comfortable that agriculture is a place for everybody, and when do you think that moment in time actually changed the psyche of Australian agriculture?
Yeah, boys, I think I've been very fortunate. I'm one of 3 girls, and so Dad has never seen us sort of had... Our opportunity was always there, and he always said it was there. So, I was actually looking at some stats this morning. So in the Hughenden Shire, 52% of the population is actually females. So we are a bit lacking on the men's side. But I think the change... definitely in the last 10 years, there's been a huge shift in women wanting to get involved in the agricultural sector, and I think there's always been a place, but maybe it's probably just coming to a bit more of a realisation for people that there's lots of areas that women can fill those roles, and we're a pretty talented bunch.
Well,
there's no doubt.
Sorry, it goes in parallel with the fact there's been a higher level of tertiary study associated with farming now as well. So I guess the old days of brawn and muscle and stuff is still important, but not as important, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and not to talk the blokes down at all, but I think women have a real nurturing sort of nature. So I think when you go to send them out to do a job or to take care of something, they do have that in the back of their mind. So it actually quite means a lot to us. So you're going out and you're actually caring for something. We're just so talented. My sister lives next door, and she's
400 kilometres away.
Yeah, literally. She's on every committee, but she's out mustering the cattle, she's teaching the kids, she's cooking, she's the accountant, she's the gardener, she's the tractor driver, she's on the motorbike. So you couldn't get a more highly qualified person, that can jump from job to job out here.
And just with that nurturing thing that you brought up, which is quite true, how do you feel when that truck loads up and heads off to the abattoir?
Look, I think when you grow up with it, it is what it is. Like, it's just the circle of life. If that's what happens. And, we are very lucky that we have to feed the nation. And I think a great point to make, if I can, boys, is that, living out here, people, we do probably get a little bit forgotten at some point, but I think when everyone at the end of the day goes back to their homes and families and they can put food on the table for their family, whether that's vegetables or meat or a variety of both, that's come from a lot of love and care, and that's come from people like myself out here providing food, fibre, and to you guys.
Exactly the reason we do Regional Roundup. Angie, Nisbet, thank you for being part of it today. We look forward to listening to Married to the Land and maybe even popping up on it at some stage. Thanks for joining us in Hughenden.
No worries, boys. Have a great day, and thanks so much.
Thanks, Angie.
Thanks,
All the
Angie.
best.